Welcome to the cmBuilder Sandbox tutorial video series. This is the first in a series of videos where we're going to explain how to use cmBuilder using a sandbox project. Today's agenda is as follows. We're going to start here with a quick overview of the product. We're going to show you how to request a copy of the sandbox project, and we'll check out some customer stories. Then we will head over to the company homepage once you sign in, and we'll explain the difference between active and archived projects. Then we'll show you how to create a new project, and we'll wrap it up with an overview of the project overview page. So as mentioned, this is the first in a series of videos. The second video in this series is where we're going to pick up actual use and explaining the tools and the tool set and the different features of cmBuilder. Let's head back to our website and we'll show you how to request a copy of the Sandbox project. So from our website, you're going to want to scroll down to the bottom and you're going to want to find cmBuilder support here under resources. Click on that and it's going to open a new tab for you. You're going to want to click on submit request from up here in the top right. From this drop down, choose general support and then leave us a description here. Just mention that you're looking for the Sandbox project. We're going to have a few Sandbox projects, so make sure you mention exactly which one you're looking for a copy for. Also, before we're able to copy that project over, make sure you create space. You're going to need space for one more active project. We'll cover that in a couple of minutes. Maybe mention in your description here that you've already created space for that project. All right, let's head back over to our website. I'm starting here at the cmBuilder homepage. And if you're a new user, I recommend heading over to our blog and checking out our customer stories. Our customer stories page has a variety of customer stories from all around the world, different types of jobs from different regions. But what all of these jobs have in common is they are really great examples. So head over here for a little bit of inspiration on the art of the possible before you create your first project in cmBuilder. You can also log in from right up here in the top right. When you log in, you're going to start at your company homepage. This is your company homepage. Now, cmBuilder is a 100% web-based site logistics and 4D construction simulation platform for planning, pursuits, pre-construction, and construction projects. From the homepage here, you're going to want to take a look at your active projects. Now, the active projects are projects you are currently working on. You can click into any of these projects and pick up where you left off. Eventually, the time will come to archive one of these projects when you reach the end. You can archive a project by clicking on these three dots in the top right of a project card and choosing Archive. Clicking that is going to send it over to the Archive tab. Now, the Archive tab lists all of your archived projects. There's no limit to how many projects you can have in this archive folder. These projects become view only once archived. Also, any public share links you had created are going to temporarily be paused while that project is archived. You can restore an archived project to active state at any time by clicking on these three dots and choosing Unarchive as long as you have space for another active project. Let's show you how to create a project. I'm going to click on Create Project from right here. The first thing you're going to need to do is enter a project name. Let's go ahead and create a test project. So we'll name this project Test. You then set the project status. We have a few to choose from. Selecting a status is going to display a little tag on that project card, as you can kind of see here in the background. Next, you'll choose the project type. We have closed projects and org-wide projects. Closed projects are accessible by invited users only. Org-wide projects are accessible by your company admins, managers, and internal users. They will get automatic access. Next, you can choose to upload a cover image if you like. That's of course optional. Let's go ahead and click Next to set up our 3D map. Is here where we enter our project address. So up in the top right, type in your project address and select it from the results. If you don't have an exact address, you can type in something nearby and manually adjust the position of the map. You can also paste in some coordinates and hit enter. cmBuilder is going to fly over to that location and it's going to display for us a preview of our map tile boundaries. That's what this blue square is. Now we have a few options here out of the box for map tile sizes, starting with small, medium, large, and extra large. you get an idea of the size of that map tile from right up here. We're currently looking at this in meters, and you can switch over to feet if that's your preference from the top right. Go ahead and click your user initials and then choose your unit preferences from user settings. We can set a custom size if we want. Let me zoom out here by scrolling down on the mouse and grabbing a hold of one of these corner handles and stretching that map. The maximum map size we support is 5 kilometers by 5 kilometers or 3 miles by 3 miles, and that's a very large map. You can also adjust the center point by clicking and holding and dragging the map tile to place it wherever you want. Now, if I want to reset that, I'll simply come back up to my search box and hit enter. It'll put me back at that address. And I'm also going to go for a medium map tile size, which you can get away with in most cases. As long as you have your complete site captured within the boundaries of this, I also recommend grabbing a few surrounding streets so that you can plan logistics to and from your project site. Once you're happy with the size and position of that map tile, go ahead and click Generate 3D Map. I'll mention it's within these boundaries that you'll be able to excavate, so you'll not be able to excavate outside of those boundaries. Now at this stage, we get to choose the map type. On the right, you can see the 3 types we offer. The Google Maps, you'll have to activate the integration first, and then 2 options from Mapbox, topographic and flat. Today, we're going to be using the Google Maps, the photorealistic 3D maps. We're going to give that a moment to load in here, and you're going to find that the map tile I had set in the previous step is going to be within this white square here. And it's important to note that we can only excavate within this white square. Now let me explain what we're seeing here. So we see our photorealistic 3D map, and there's a few zones to be aware of. So we have outside of that white square, that is the extended map, these surroundings, and you're going to see that the quality of the map outside of that white square drops off the further out you get. Inside of the white square, you're going to have pretty high quality, and inside of the blue square here at the center, that's the area of highest quality. So you want to capture your project site normally within that blue square. You can adjust the size of that blue square within the limits from down here in the right on the side sheet. We have a few limits there. Once you're happy with that size, go ahead and click Apply and Create Scenario, and it's going to create that project for you. This is just a test project, so I'm going to abandon the project here and head back to my home page. So heading up to the top left corner, I'm going to click on my company name and click Yes, Leave. That's going to abandon that project. Today we're going to be working inside of the Sandbox project, so I'm going to go ahead and click into this Active Sandbox project. And that's going to take me to the project overview page for this project. At the top of the page, we'll see our project name. We'll see the coordinates listed below that, and on the right side, our project address. Most importantly, from the project overview page, we're going to see some scenarios. Now, a project needs 1 scenario at minimum, but you can have multiple scenarios. In fact, there's no limit to how many scenarios you can have in a project. All scenarios within a project will share the same map tile. The idea behind having multiple scenarios is sort of like having multiple copies of the project. It's going to allow you to test out different plans for this project before committing to one. For example, if you're in the planning stage, you might have 2 versions of a schedule you're considering or 2 different logistics plans. Go ahead and create a scenario for each. You might want to plan your project in both scenarios until you choose the direction you want to go long term, at which point you can head back to the project overview page and probably abandon one of those scenarios. Just move forward with your main scenario. Now, when you have multiple scenarios, it's a good idea to identify which one is the main scenario by assigning it as your main scenario. You can do that by clicking on the 3 dots in the top right corner of this scenario card and setting it as your main scenario. By doing so, it's going to display a little blue tag that says main scenario that will let everybody know which scenario in this project is the main scenario. Before we head into a scenario, let's cover some of the project options. We're going to head over here to the left side of the screen and click on Documents. The Documents page lists all of the models uploaded to the project. This being the Sandbox project is going to come preloaded with a couple of models. We have a structural model and an architectural model in this project. We see that the format of both of these models is IFC. It also lists a version of the upload date as well. Heading down to coordinate systems, there's 2 types of coordinate systems that apply to every single project in cmBuilder. you have your local project coordinates and your geo coordinates. Now, it's not mandatory to make any adjustments here, but you may want to set these. I'll show you how to set the local project coordinates first. Go ahead and click on Add there. And the reason why you would most likely head into your local project coordinates is if your project north doesn't quite align with true north. So from the local project coordinates, we can set a coordinate system name. We're going to leave that as my project coordinates. You can set an offset if you wish, but today we're just going to be setting an angle to true north. So my project north is actually about 178.42 degrees from north. And as soon as I hit enter, you're going to see that compass just down below flips directions. It's now pointing more or less south. I'm going to go ahead and click on add there. It's going to add that to my local project coordinates. We can also set geo coordinates for a project by clicking on add here. If we click on add, you can search for a system by name or by EPSG code. I'm going to type in an EPSG code here and just choose one at random today. I'm going to select that and click add, and that is going to get added to my geo coordinate systems here. Now if I want to use that to geolocate my model, I'll click on these three dots and click use to geolocate. That's about all we'll mention about coordinate systems. Let's move on to project roles. Heading down to project roles, it's going to list the project roles here. This being a sandbox project, regardless of a user's role at the company level, everybody inside of this project has admin rights. So everybody will be able to edit this project. It's meant to be a learning project. From the project roles page, you can also switch this project from an org-wide project to a closed project or vice versa. We're going to go ahead and leave that as is. We also have a shared links dashboard here that will list any shared links for this project. We'll explain that in a later video. From the shared links dashboard here, you can manage these links. You can extend the expiration date, you can copy the link, or you can deactivate the link. Let's head back over to the project overview page. All right, that's actually all we need to cover for today's video. So we're going to leave it there, and we'll catch you in the second part to the Sandbox tutorial video series. Thanks for watching.